Hello everyone, TarantulaDan here. I hope you're doing well today. In today's video I'm going to be rehousing some of my inverts, some tarantulas, assassin bugs and a crab. Just showing you how I'm going to be keeping them for now. Also, whilst I'm working on this video, I'm going to also be filming a pet photo shoot. That video will be up for my patrons and pictures from that will be up publicly on my Instagram. So if you'd like to follow me on Instagram to see some of the pictures, and hopefully you'll enjoy that. And then of course for the patrons you will see the behind the scenes of actually filming that. I really hope that you enjoy it. So we're going to get straight into it and start rehousing some inverts. So the first thing I'm going to be rehousing are my assassin bugs, and the reason for this is I actually won the enclosure of this for one of my inverts, one of my tarantulas. So there are 3 assassin bugs in here. There were originally 4 of them, however one of them did get eaten by the others, which is a shame, but it does happen. It's a bit annoying because there's always food in there. This enclosure, by the way, this cubed one, I get a lot of people asking me on social media, YouTube, where I get these from. They are of course from the spider shop. There will always be a link to the spider shop in the description of my videos. I get most of my enclosures and most of my livestock from them. This one is the 15 centimeters cubed one, and I also have up here the one of my Caledonia that is in, which is 25 centimeters cubed. So yeah, if you're after one of these enclosures, the spider shop. Now for the enclosure for these, I decided to have something that would be nice for a display. They are always out, they don't burrow or anything like that, but I wanted to give them plenty of climbing surfaces. So what I've actually done is I'm using this enclosure back here, which is the one that lights up. You can see there is the LED strip on the top of the lip along here, which I won't put on just now, but I will put it on in a minute once they're in. And this is the enclosure that I originally, previously had my Rehousing, the Regal jumping spider, and as you can see there's different levels of substrate and plenty of cork to climb under and over and twigs. So hopefully this will be a nice nice enclosure for them. It's not that much bigger, probably sort of twice the floor space and twice the height, as well as a bit of burrowing space. I know they don't burrow, but still they have the opportunity to do that. So in a minute I will be taking them and placing them into here. Okay then, so currently the assassin bugs are actually just behind this enclosure. You can see them here having their little photo shoot, or they've just had it. I'm going to very carefully now get this cork. I'm going to place the whole cork bark into there. Is there any on that? There's just one. You can see him just there. So we'll get him in first. There's one. These 2 are actually are bigger. Whoops. Okay, they just dropped in. That wasn't too bad. I thought he was going to try and climb up the tweezers, but he didn't. So there's just one down here, one here, and the large one is at the back. I'm going to leave them for just a little while, and then I'm going to come back and get some close-ups of them. So hopefully you can see that on the screen, and you'll see that they look quite happy. Okay then, so next up is going to be the Cape Rudipees. Now I currently have this spider in this sort of cylindrical enclosure. It's only a teeny tiny spider. It is a dwarf species. These are also known as the pygmy fireleg. There'll be some footage on screen of it at the moment, and they are gorgeous spiders. I figured this would be nice. There's plenty of space for it to burrow, not loads, but obviously it's only a small spider, so it only needs a few inches to burrow down anyway, and then plenty of bark and things to sort of climb over. This will be more than enough for it for probably quite some time. Worst case scenario, I can always add in some more substrate if need be. I do apologise, my phone is going off in the background. However, I'm on call this week and I have to keep my phone here because I have to take the calls when they come in, so my phone has to be on basically. So please try and ignore that, I do apologise. So I'm going to swap now to the macro lens for this, because otherwise you're not going to see the spider and it'll be a real shame to not see it go into its enclosure. Again, 15 centimeter cubed. These are from the spider shop, terrestrial spider. So of course substrate, bark. I do not use water dishes. I know a lot of people will hate me for that and, you know, shout at me and things, but most of my spiders, if they have water dishes, they just bury them. A good example might be Amelia, just fills it with substrate. So I just spray the tanks, make sure that they get water that way, and they're fine. So yeah, no water dish. That's the way it is. So let's get the macro lens on, get down to the floor, get a better look. Okay then, so this is the enclosure for the Brunipees. The actual spider's obviously just been having a bit of a photo shoot. You can see just here, it is very, very small. I'm actually going to just keep it on that log because I think it probably quite likes it. It obviously is from its enclosure, so I'm going to just place that, oops, onto there. Nice and simple, really. Okay, so the next spider I'm going to rehouse. I'm not going to be going mad. I won't be doing a photo shoot of this spider, I think, because it doesn't look remarkable at the moment. But I kind of got this enclosure sort of set up, but not really with anything in mind, just a nice terrestrial setup. And then I kind of thought, actually, my Augustocephalus esendami would look pretty cool in here, I think, especially once it's sort of, you know, got a bit bigger, got the adult colours and things. So that's what I'm going to be doing. We'll be introducing the Augustocephalus esendami into here. You can see there's like a pre-made sort of burrow down there. Ramsey's going mad about something. And there's plenty of sort of anchor points if he wants to web or burrow. You can see there's loads of substrate at the back. So there's more than enough substrate in here for this species. So yeah, we're going to put this in and maybe check back on this in like a week or something, or a couple of weeks, and see whether it does any sort of webbing or burrows, or, you know, what it does. Hopefully it will utilise this burrow, this pre-made burrow down here, but we'll see. Okay, so here's the enclosure setup. You can see the anchor points, you can see the burrow down there, the pre-made burrow, and the amount of substrate that is actually in here. There is definitely more than enough for this sling. And like I say, this spider doesn't look very remarkable at the moment. However, once it gets its adult sort of colours and things, it should be pretty cool to watch. Very small. Maybe just see it there. Put the camera down. Of course, being very, very gentle with your tweezers. I'm not trying to touch it, I'm just trying to brush near it. There we go. In it goes, and you can see there's definitely plenty more than in here. This is just like a little tub, bit of substrate, nothing too stimulating for the spider. Not that spiders need stimulating, of course, because they're pretty simple creatures, which is why I like them. So you can see there, and hopefully it'll have a good explore. And I don't know whether it might be hungry. Hey, there we go. It did take it down. Actually looking pretty well fed anyway, to be fair, so hopefully it will take it off and find a burrow somewhere. Okay, then we're back in the room. It's been a couple of days since I filmed the previous footage, because I'll put a picture up on over here somewhere, but basically my puppy got hold of the plants that I'd ordered and quite literally destroyed them. So I've had to order some more. The moss hasn't came yet, so I'll be sprinkling some moss into the enclosures at a later date. But I still want to try and get these ready, I guess. So I have another 2 enclosures here, which I'm going to be rehousing now. I was going to do the P. regalis as well. She actually came out earlier on. I was talking to a friend about spiders, and I was showing her my pokey, my new Mobile Amica, amazing tarantula, and I showed her my regalis, who bolted and was up on the ceiling up there and went across, and I had to very calmly try and capture this huge P. regalis, but all was well, kept it cool, and it's all good. So, but I'm going to leave her in there for now. I will do her at a later date. I really want to spruce up her enclosure really, really nice. But I have 2 now, which there was footage on the screen of the first enclosure, which is going to be the Sabah Blue. Now, the Sabah Blue is one of my favourite of my tarantulas. She's a big girl, probably about as big as my P. regalis. Very, very big girl, very defensive. It's one of those spiders I would describe as very happy to murder me and my family, and then probably my friends and their family, and you know, it's a really aggressive spider. It just gives me jip all the time. Whenever I open the enclosure to take food out or put food in, she will sometimes come out of the burrow with her legs in the air, and it's like, look, I'm just trying to feed you, you know. So we're going to be doing her now, and then after that I want to do the L. Gygerum, and the reason for that is, although the enclosure she's going to go into might seem a little bit smaller, she doesn't actually come out of her burrow like ever, and I think it would just be nice to sort of set up for her. I don't really like this. The enclosure that she is in at the moment is like a Perspex-y plastic cylinder basically, and it doesn't look that nice for such a nice spider. So I'm going to take her out of that and use this for some other kind of future communal project. I don't have anything in mind right now, but you know, shows are coming up. There's no harm in keeping that empty for a while. So it's going to be something pretty chill in there, you know, so I don't know. So anyway, we're going to get on with the video. We're going to take a look at the Flamingochilas Sabah Blue, and hopefully this goes nice and smoothly. Well, I've got some more photos of her. Let's try and just get a... For anyone wondering, by the way, if you live in the UK and you're scared of spiders, this is how you capture house spiders. You just cup them and you get like a piece of paper. I don't have any paper on me, so I'm going to use this. Just use this, and hopefully I can coax her. There you go. That is how you safely collect a spider without stressing it out. Okay then, so here she is. I apologise about the lighting, by the way. It is going dark outside and the lighting in this room isn't the right light. But yeah, I've got some really good photos of her, which will be up. Some of these images will be on Instagram, by the way, so make sure you follow me there. And I'm going to very carefully place her into her new enclosure. So I'll adjust the camera and I'll get that done. Okay, and for the actual rehouse, of course, Sabah Blue. Take the lid off. I'm going to very carefully just use the tweezers to coax her out of the tub. See, she's at the back there. I'm going to close this up so there's no chance of her escaping, because I don't want that. And there you go, P. Sabah Blue. Absolutely wonderful looking spider, and the rehouse went much easier than the photo shoot. So yeah, hopefully she'll like it in there. There is more space, by the way, just to show you the size sort of comparison. So this is level with the bottom of the enclosure, so it is quite a lot bigger in terms of height and also how much substrate there is for her to dig into. So yeah, hopefully she likes it. I was actually about to open the glass at the front to get a better look at her, but she bolted from the back or through all the wood and down here in literally just a couple of seconds. So I'm not going to be taking the lock off or the glass. You can see her just there. She's a prize spider. She's probably my most expensive tarantula, along with the T. Sardonia. I received her in the £1,000 mystery box, and she's molted since I've had her as well. So yeah, she's wonderful, absolutely fantastic eater, and hopefully she'll be happy in there. So the Flamingo Cholla species blue went fairly well. I think it certainly could have gone a lot worse. The next up is a spider that I'm really not looking forward to doing this one. This, as I said, is the Lampropelma, and I need to get this one out of the hide into the catch cup before I put it into the actual booth. So I'm kind of dreading this one, to be fair. I really am. So yeah, gonna get stuck into getting this done. And then the reason I need to do that, by the way, is because I need that cork bark to go into the new enclosure. So I've got to get her out, finish setting up her enclosure, and then do the photos, and then do the rehouse. So yeah. So this is the enclosure. Like I say, it's just plastic, and even you see this is like a plasticky perspex. I had a Inophila madagascarensis in this originally. This is actually the enclosure where Petco accidentally killed the spider, which I'll link that video up in the card. In, I think it's, where would it be? In this corner over here, I think. So yeah, I can see that she's webbed up down here, so I'm going to very carefully just take the log out, place that over it, like so. And very carefully take a look in here. Oh, she's beautiful. By the way, I haven't seen this spider for ages. I never see her, hardly ever. So you can just see her there. Of course, third posture, which is absolutely to be expected. You can see it on there. I'm not going to take the lid off too much because I'm not going to risk her getting out. So I'm going to keep the lid on. Just place her out of the way for a minute. Okay, so she's been really good and gave me some really good photos. I'm quite happy with how I think they'll look. I'm not going to irritate her. I don't like irritating my spiders. My name, of course, is not Exotic Slayer, so I'm going to be carefully collecting her up, and I'm going to place her into the enclosure, and yeah, she can enjoy the rest of her evening in her new home, and hopefully she will settle just fine. So, of course, going to put the cover over the top. Oops, mind the substrate. Sorry. Come on, get all your legs inside. That's it. My legs are inside. Gonna quickly get rid of that substrate. Can use the lid. That's it. Okay, so it's all secure, and I'll be inserting her into the enclosure from the top. So I'm going to bring this just up here so you can see it. I have the lid ready to go on. And she is. Okay. There you go, in. And the lid is on. So she's in there and nice and secure. And she should find the the entrance to a burrow, which is just around here, very soon once she's sort of in and settled. I'm just going to turn this around because this glass isn't actually on properly. Mind your toes. There we go. In and done. Nice and pretty simple really. So I only have one more invert left to rehouse in this video. Now I was going to do another invert, which was actually my centipede, the Scolopendra polymorpha. However, but I was going to change the enclosure to the arboreal one from the Sabah blue, and then I realised that it's got these vents on the top, and I don't think it could get through there, but because there's just that teeny tiny bit of doubt, I am not going to risk it. I'm not willing to have a centipede loose in this room, so I'll be keeping this for something else. But I have one more invert, which actually the enclosure was actually one of the first ones that I did, and it's actually underneath this box, and this is going to be for my crab. Pretty simple setup. If you can see it, you can. Very simple setup. This is just so there's a bit of a shallow portrait, and it has been waiting to go in there for like 2 days. So I'm going to put some water in there and give it a quick spray over, and then I want to put the crab in and let the crab do its thing, and it'll probably ruin the enclosure entirely, but that's what crabs do. So we're going to take a look at the crab and then continue. Okay then, so this is the enclosure. Now there was more substrate in here, but I've actually already started taking it out, as you can see by this, and if you've seen other videos of the crab, you know that it was basically half full. And it had this Repti rock as basically a pool, which you just filled with the substrate. And I will say that this does smell quite foul actually, and there's, oh, that is a bit of lettuce or something, a bit of plant. Oh, it's making the sound. But yeah, so this kind of stinks quite bad, to be fair. I only obviously have the one rainbow crab left because I did have 2 of them, but then this is the one where the one crab was bullying this little guy. Come here. Was bullying this little guy, and then the other crab died, and I fed the dead crab to this one. I left it in, and this one ate the rest of the other, the other one. So it was this one is the survivor, and you can see I'm getting filthy. I will not be getting any photos of this because it will destroy the white carpet, of course. We should just sort of stay a bit still so I can actually show you him a bit better. He's calmed down a bit now. So yeah, crabs make really good pets because they are really easy to care for. They are not aggressive. I mean, of course they can, and they will pinch, but usually they're pretty chilled out, to be fair. And they eat anything. If you have any leftover food, you can put that in with it. Fruits and vegetables, live food like you would a tarantula. If you have an invert and it dies, put it in with this, it'll eat it. So yeah, really cool little guys. Like I say, there was 2 of these. If you've not seen my crab videos, I will put I'll put some in the annotation of this video. I think maybe the one with the big ass crab, if you've never seen that. It's quite a good video. So yeah, so this is the rainbow crab. Thought it was going to give me a good pinch then. Is he? Usually you can tell when they're going to do it, but you got the little claw there ready. The little claw actually hurts more because it comes more sharp. Okay, let's just get this one in. So you can see you're just going to pick him up, and he's actually got his claw on my finger. It looks like he's going to give me a bit of a nip. He's not. Very chill. And all I'm going to do is just place him into his new enclosure, and then I'll get some close-ups of him. My room is literally just an utter mess. I don't like it being like this. I can't even walk anywhere really. So I'm going to tidy all of this up, and then I'm going to do a bit of rearranging, I think, and then I will do the outro. Okay then, so this is the outro, and I'd like to just thank you for taking time for watching all of this video. I really hope that you enjoyed it. In all honesty, this video was a bit of a nightmare to work on because it's taken me so long from start to finish to get it done. Today is actually Saturday the 8th of February. It is 5:10 in the evening. So this video should be up in like 50 minutes, and I've got to just put this last clip in and then hopefully get it up. So it will be a little bit later, I do apologise. But there's been plenty of setbacks with the dog chewing up the plants and things not coming, and then with work and just spending my evenings doing other things, it's just not been as straightforward. I actually went this week and met a couple of subscribers and had a drink with them, which was really, really nice. So yeah, there's been plenty of little setbacks, which has been a bit of a pain, but it's done now and everything, the room is back to being clean as things. So I want to thank you for watching the video. I'd also like to just read some comments now. At the end of the last week's video, I did say that I would pick the best comment and give them a big shout out. I actually had a few comments, so I'm going to read a few out and then give the glory spot to one person who won the comment section. And actually, I think the comment went up pretty much straight away. So a couple of questions that I had. My Cage Gems asked me if I have a duck, which I don't. Then another comment that I received was from Angela, who had a message from someone asking, because in a picture she has some boots on, and she was asked what size boot she was, and then it went on to ask if she was wearing socks or whether she was wearing them barefoot. So there's a pretty strange message. I've never received one involving feet, to be fair. Cap 90 was asked if he was gay because he has long hair, and he was having a conversation with a colleague. I myself have been asked that plenty of times for many reasons, which I am not, believe me. So yeah, some pretty good suggestions. Mr. Doolittle Fish Hobbyist asked me about taking up a case with the puppy for the destruction of the plants, which of course I can't do that because she's a puppy and she could answer Judge Rinder. So you know, I had a lovely message from Peter Webster, shout out to Peter Webster, who had a bit of abuse to do some snakes, which was a bit odd, but thankfully I think that situation is sorted now. But the absolute best question that I received and went up straight away is from Tarantula Noob. Thank you. Tarantula Noob is very active on my channel, especially on my live streams. He's one of the people that's always there. And he put this up, which was, has anybody ever come round to your house, dropped a spider and killed it? 6 weeks later, Judge Rinder. So Petco, what do you have to say in your defence? Which is funny because of, you know, the whole thing with Petco killing Minophila madagascarensis. So Tarantula Noob, you absolutely won that. I read that and I genuinely had a really good laugh to myself for that comment. So thank you for your input and for your comment. I might do this every week, you know. I might just finish the video with a question, or just look out for the best comment from the previous video and then give that person a shout out at the end of the next video, and then do that, and that way I can shout out to random people. Just an idea. So if you'd like to sort of have a shout out, then leave me some kind of random funny comment, anything you like, but the more different it is, the more chance I will read it out. And yeah, that one I will end up putting that on Instagram as well. So Tarantula Noob, if you have Instagram, let me know, I'll give you a shout out on there as well. So yeah, bit of fun. Hope you've all enjoyed this video. I do apologise, by the way. I have been talking an awful lot this week whilst doing various videos, and I've come down with a bit of a bad throat, I think. So my voice is going, but yeah, hope you've enjoyed it anyway, and yeah, let me know what you think in the comments below. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and a huge thank you to my Patreon as always, and I'll see you in the next week, the next episode, next video. I will be starting the T. Celadonia enclosure soon. I've got some wonderful air plants that have came, I've got the moss which has came, I've got the decor, So I'm going to make this enclosure look really, really special for this spider, and I really hope that you will come and join me for that. So yeah, thanks for watching everyone, have a lovely day, and I'll see you soon. Take care.